Hey everyone, I'm Aaron. They call me Grape Crush. That's my identical twin brother, Adam. Call him Orange Crush. Today, it doesn't matter what flavor you're talking about. We're talking about guys who absolutely crush the ball for one game. And we're going to talk about game scores for hitters. You're in a baseball brouhaha, which means we're having a cup of coffee. We're in a daily baseball trivia fracas. We're getting after it today. Folks, as we're going along, we'd love for you to hear your comments. Drop them in below. As we go along, we love putting together these questions, and our favorite ones are the ones that you submit to us. And if you want to, we'll have you on the show. We had one of those, and we got another one coming up soon. So drop your comments. We'd love to have you. But in the meantime, we got trivia to get to. Adam, what do we got?
Yeah, guys, crushing. So from Orange and Grape Crush straight to you. Since 2016, 5 players have had an ESPN batting score of 90 or better. If you're wondering, 90 or better is good. That's good. Who was the youngest to do it? And this is inspired by Adolis Garcia's recent 5-for-5 explosion, which we'll get to a little bit later. He had a high game score. More than 90, foreshadowing, more than 90. So he's going to be on our list with several other players. So which one is the youngest of these players? So Adolis Garcia, who just had his big game, Anthony Rendon in 2017, Scooter Gennett in 2017, Matt Carpenter in 2018, or Alex Dickerson in 2020.
So I wasn't really sure on this one. It felt almost like most of these guys were moving toward like late 20s, 30s. I went Alex Dickerson just because I thought I don't know. In my head, I thought he was younger. I don't know. But that's about it.
And I went with Garcia because I had in my mind that he has like just started his career. I don't know if that's true or not. So in my mind, he's like 24, 25 years old. I don't know if that's right or not. So we're going to check it out right now, and we're all going to find out together. So what do we got? We are both wrong. Shocking.
Welcome.
The correct answer, both of our guys that we guessed, though, were the same age, 30.
They were the oldest, weren't they?
They were not the oldest. Matt Carpenter was 33 when he hit his. The youngest, the correct answer here is Anthony Rendon, who was 26. Gennett was 27. They had Rendon was just about to turn 27, and Gennett had just turned 27. So they were close. They were close. Yeah. But let's revisit Adolis Garcia's night. We sort of alluded to this so this is April 22nd. He had a score of 93.25, which surpassed Trace Thompson's 84.5.
Yeah, which Trace had 3 home runs first week of the season. Adolis bested him. He went 5 for 5, 3 homers as well, but he also had 2 doubles, 8 RBI, and 5 runs in an 18-3 win over the A's. Just adding to the different run differential. Adolis did about 15% of their run differential by himself in one night.
I don't know if it's me, but it feels like most of these trivia questions have to do with the A's giving up a lot of things.
Yeah,
walks, runs, hits, all of the above.
Well, we're going to see how it plays out over the course of the year. There's a lot of discussion about whether the A's might be the worst team ever, which currently, I mean, we'll get there sometime later. But the 62 Mets were 40 and what is that, 120, 122. Yeah. So we got some work to do before we get there, but they're not very good.
Yeah, well, we're getting back on track now, back to high game scores. So we're looking at people who got 95 or higher, even more rare. There were 2 of these in 2017. The only time in the last 30 years.
Yeah, so that was Rendon and Gannett, who were on our trivia, in case you were wondering there. The only other player, so there's been 3 of these, the only other player to go over 95 was Sean Green in 2002, and he's got the highest ever. This has been tracked over the last 30 years, so perhaps there's one, further back, prior to 1993, but this is as far back as we go. He went 97 with his total. So,
And that was what was it? Do you know his whole stat line? I know he hit 4 home runs in that game.
he did. I don't have the whole line. He went 6 for 6. So that was the thing that really put him over the top. Is most of these guys are going 5 for 5 with 4 homers, or in Witten's case, I think he went 4 for 5, but he had 12 RBI.
Yeah.
But I think Green had added it in because he went 6 for 6. He had extra AB and scored. I think he scored 6 runs, actually. I think he scored every time he got on base.
Well, that'll get you 97 there.
Yeah.
So these 90 plus ESPN score games is rare company. There have been 13 total in the past 30 years. And remember, these are individual games. There's a lot of games played in the last 30 years. But the stretch from 2004 to 2011 had 0 90 score games.
Yeah.
2017 is the only year that have 2 such games.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and most of these, we were just talking a little bit about, most of these 90 plus come, especially like the 93, 4, 5, those come in those 4 homer games, which are extremely rare. 93 Mark Whitten, 2002 Sean Green, 2012 Josh Hamilton was in this category, 2017 Scooter Gennett. Green had the highest score at 97, which we talked about. 2017 Rendon had the second highest ever score at 96, and by comparison, he wasn't in the 4 home run club. He hit the 3 home run club, but he had 10 RBI in that game, which really helps the old score there.
It sure does. Well, as with any of these games like this, they come with a fun story. We're moving to fun story time. Bring in the funk with us. Bring in the story with the funk. Straight into story time. My story is not about a game that a player crushed, but about a player who crushed later. Mark Whitten, former Mariner, nicknamed Hard Hittin' Mark Whitten. Fun little story. So he played with the Mariners in, I don't know, what have been mid-90s.
I want to say 93-ish. Yeah, 93-ish.
Okay. So he, we would go to the Kingdom as kids, and we would try to get there early. We went to very few games because we lived so far away. But I remember we went to one game, and we got there in time for BP. And sitting out in the left field bleachers, Mark Whitten, a switch hitter, was taking BP from the right side, crushed one, hard hitting, straight into this guy's glove. The first ever batting practice home run that I caught, I treasured that ball and got it signed by none other than, do you remember who signed it?
Rick Riz.
Rick Riz, play-by-play radio man for the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun memory. I remember that. You reached right in between some adults and you said, "I will take that."
That's right.
So my story here is actually I had one doubleheader. So I'm already on handicap. I had a doubleheader our senior year of baseball, where I had a really good line score. And so I went and did the math. I looked up their little equation to find out what was my game score. So my line was 8 for 10. Again, doubleheader, not one game, doubleheader. 8 for 10, 2 triples, 2 doubles, 4 singles. I actually didn't remember how many runs I scored, but I figured it was probably like 6 because we scored a total of like 40 runs in the doubleheader. 10 RBI, which gave me a score of 96.5. That could be a little up or down depending on how many runs I scored. But that still doesn't get me to what Sean Green did in an ag game at the major league level, not high school, against a team that didn't have very good pitching. So that's a little bit different. I do have his line here. Sean Green bested me with 6 for 6, 4 homers, a double, a single, 7 RBI, 6 runs scored, which would have been good for 32 fantasy points if you're playing fantasy baseball. Adolis, I have him on one of my fantasy teams. He blew up and gave me 29.
Good day for your team there.
Is it? Well, it's a good day for one guy.
Well, it still helps the team.
It does. So, this is a fun one. Thanks, everybody, for joining us, and a special thanks to ESPN and MLB for providing all the stats. This game score stuff on the hitter side, I knew about pitching game scores, but I didn't know about the hitting game scores until I went searching for this. And so that was fun. If you have a burning question, drop it in the comments below, or go find us at Twitter and tweet at us over there. Like, subscribe. We'll be back at it tomorrow. You can join us. We'll look forward to seeing you then.